The greatest tragedy of the human soul is to be endlessly busy, but never truly alive. Carl Jung. Let that sink in. Endlessly busy. Endlessly striving. Endlessly achieving. Yet somehow, never really alive. And maybe you know exactly what that feels like. You worked for something. You sacrificed for it. You reached the finish line. You achieved the goal, the title, the promotion, the dream you once prayed for, and then nothing, not joy, not pride, not fulfillment. Just a quiet, haunting emptiness, as if the meaning leaked out. Somewhere along the way, this feeling is far more universal than people admit. Not just celebrities who spiral after fame. Not just CEOs with corner offices and dead eyes. Not just overachievers who can never sit still. It happens to normal people. To you and me? To anyone who has ever reached a milestone and whispered, "Why don't I feel the way I thought I would?" And this is where Carl Jung's psychology hits with soul-level clarity. Because Jung believed that this specific kind of emptiness isn't a failure, but a message. A message from the deeper part of you, the part you ignore, silence, distract, or deny. The part that wants a life. Not just a resume today. We're diving deep into why success alone leaves you feeling empty. Why the soul rejects achievements that don't align with its true calling. And how Jung believed this emptiness is not a curse, but a compass pointing you toward a deeper purpose. So let's begin. From childhood. We are trained like machines. Get good grades. Do what you're told. Choose the safe career. Earn more. Buy more. Be more. Success is the answer. This is the cultural script, and we follow it faithfully. Because we want approval. We want love. We want to feel like we matter. We absorb the myth that meaning is out there in the next accomplishment. The next milestone, the next validation, society promises. If you achieve enough, you will finally feel fulfilled. Jung said something radically different. Success and happiness are not the same thing. The soul does not care about your achievements. It cares only for what is meaningful. And that's the painful truth many only discover after they succeed, because success can give you comfort. Success can give you stability. Success can give you applause. But success cannot give your soul what it longs for: meaning, connection, purpose, wholeness. These things don't come from outside you. They emerge from within. That's why success feels empty, because the outer victory does not match the inner truth. And when there is a mismatch, the soul stays silent. Or worse, it cries. Jung believed that the psyche has its own intelligence. Call it intuition. Call it inner knowing. Call it the soul. Whatever name you use, it is always watching, always listening, always responding. And the soul has one job: to guide you toward a life that is authentically yours, not the life your parents want for you, not the life society admires, not the life people cheer for. Yours. So what happens when you climb a ladder that wasn't yours to climb? What happens when you marry someone who looks good on paper, but not in your heart? What happens when you pursue a degree, career, or lifestyle because it's practical, not meaningful? What happens when you silence your creativity, your curiosity, your truth to fit into a box? Something breaks. Quietly at first, a whisper: "This is not me. This is not my path. This is not my life." But we ignore it. We push it down. We distract ourselves with busyness, with goals, with productivity. We tell ourselves, once I achieve more, then I'll feel whole. But the soul is patient. And when the achievement comes, the emptiness remains, we finally hear it. The soul saying, "This was never what I asked for." And that emptiness you feel, it is not depression, not failure, not weakness. It is the soul refusing to celebrate a life that isn't aligned with its truth. There is a particular kind of sadness that comes after reaching a goal, not the sadness of failure, the sadness of realizing that success didn't fix you. It's the moment you understand. No amount of accomplishment can fill a spiritual void. You stand on the mountaintop and feel nothing. Jung described this feeling as emotional starvation. The body's alive, the mind is busy, but the soul is starving because meaning and purpose do not come from money, titles, achievements, to-do lists, status, followers, awards. They come from truth, connection, inner alignment, self-understanding, creativity, contribution, love, relationships, purpose, growth, and none of these can be bought. None can be forced. None can be faked. The soul is stubborn. It will accept nothing less than authenticity. So when you succeed at something that isn't truly yours, emptiness is the only honest reaction. Jung believed that most people create a persona, a mask they present to the world. It's the good child. It's the successful adult, the reliable worker. It's the impressive achiever. We build this mask to survive, to be liked, to fit in. But here's the tragedy. The persona can succeed, but the real self cannot feel it because the achievement belongs to the mask, not to you. And when the mask wins, your true self feels invisible, ignored, abandoned. This creates a deep, painful split inside you. The life you perform versus the life you actually want. And success achieved through the persona always feels hollow because the real you was never involved. At some point, maybe after a promotion, maybe after buying a home, maybe after getting married, maybe after achieving a lifelong goal, something inside you feels off. You look at your life and ask, who is this person I've become? Why do I feel more lost now than before? Why doesn't this happiness feel like mine? This is the crisis Jung warned about, the crisis of the unlived life, he said. Nothing is more tragic than to find yourself living someone else's life. The emptiness after success is the alarm. It's the soul saying, you have achieved what the world wanted, now it's time to pursue what you want. Here is the most important message Jung ever gave about meaninglessness. Emptiness is not a sign that something is missing from your life. It is a sign that something is missing from you. A part of you you've ignored, a dream you buried, a truth you silenced, a passion you hid, a calling you dismissed. Emptiness is not an absence. It is a presence, the presence of your unlived life calling out to you. It is the soul whispering, there is more. Go deeper. Look within. And the more you resist it, the louder it becomes. This is why people distract themselves. Because sitting with emptiness forces you to confront the truth. You have outgrown the life you're living. When success feels hollow, most people go into panic mode. They assume something is terribly wrong, that they're ungrateful, spoiled, confused, or simply never satisfied. But Jung offered a radically different perspective. Emptiness is not a crisis, it's communication. The soul doesn't shout. It whispers. And emptiness is its language. Jung didn't believe in escaping these feelings or burying them under constant activity. Instead, he believed that emptiness is the psyche's invitation inward. A turning point where the unconscious starts knocking, asking to be acknowledged. Responding to this moment requires courage, not avoidance. Curiosity, not fear. And above all, a willingness to listen to what you've ignored for years. The first step is simple, but profoundly uncomfortable. Stop running from the emptiness. Most people try to drown it out with productivity, entertainment, or endless goals. But Jung taught that meaning arrives only when we stop resisting what we feel. Sit with the emptiness. Let it rise without trying to fix it or rationalize it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? What truth is hidden beneath this ache? Often the emptiness contains messages about the life you are living versus the life you actually want. It reveals misalignments, suppressed desires, forgotten passions, and emotional wounds that have been waiting for your attention. When you stop running, the emptiness becomes less of an enemy and more of a guide. The second step is to track your dreams, because Jung believed dreams are the direct voice of the unconscious. Even when you feel lost consciously, the deeper layers of your psyche are still working, sorting, revealing, urging. Dreams may show conflicts, desires, fears, or symbols that point toward your unlived life. Keeping a dream journal helps reconnect you with the wisdom beneath the surface. Over time, patterns emerge, certain images, themes, or emotions return, attempting to guide you. Jung taught that the unconscious doesn't sabotage you. It tries to complete you, and dreams are its compass. Next, notice what drains you versus what makes you feel alive. Emptiness after success is usually a sign that you've been living according to external expectations instead of internal truth. Your energy is a more honest compass than your thoughts. What activities make your body feel heavy, tight, or exhausted, even when you're technically successful? In what moments, however small, make you feel present, awake, curious, or open? Jung believed that meaning is not found by forcing yourself into a role, but by noticing what brings your inner world back to life. Your body knows before your mind understands. Then comes the most challenging step, confronting your shadow. The shadow contains everything you've rejected in your self-anger. Sadness, creativity, softness, ambition, desire, grief. These parts don't disappear. They go underground and drain your vitality. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to admit? What emotion do I avoid? What parts of myself have I pushed away to appear successful or acceptable? Meaning hides behind the shadow, because the shadow holds the pieces of you that were exiled. Integrating them doesn't make you weaker, it makes you whole. Finally, Jung taught that you must allow yourself to change. Emptiness often signals that you've outgrown the identity you built. The career that once motivated you may no longer fit. The role you've been performing may feel too tight. The dreams you chased may belong to an older version of you. Transformation requires allowing the old self to die its habits, its beliefs, its expectations. This is painful, but necessary. As Jung said, we don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Growth is disruptive. It demands surrender. But meaning follows growth, never stagnation. In the end, responding to emptiness is not about filling the void. It's about understanding it, listening to it, letting it shape you into who you were meant to become. Because emptiness isn't the absence of meaning, it's the doorway to it. Here's the truth most people never learn until life forces it upon them. You were not born to succeed, you were born to become whole. Success, as the world defines it, is merely a ripple on the surface of life. Wholeness, however, is the ocean beneath it, vast, ancient, and deeply personal. Jung believed that every human carries a blueprint of the self they are meant to become, a kind of sacred map buried within the unconscious. When success feels empty, it is almost always because you have been following the map handed to you by society. It's not the one written inside your own soul. Success is a byproduct. Wholeness is the purpose. The world will tell you to chase goals, build achievements, collect milestones, and climb ladders. But the soul does not care about ladders, it cares about roots. It cares about becoming real. It cares about the inner marriage of your light and shadow. The alignment between your actions and your authenticity. The quiet truth that your outer life finally reflects your inner world. When these two realms drift apart, emptiness rushes in to signal the breach, because the soul wants what cannot be measured. Meaning, truth, connection, love, creation, authenticity, expansion, aliveness. These are not metrics you can check off on a resume or capture in a paycheck. They are felt, not seen. Lived, not displayed. When you pursue only the versions of success the world approves of, you starve these deeper hungers. You polish the surface of your life while the roots dry out beneath it. This is why success can feel like a beautiful room with no oxygen. Everything looks right, but something inside you cannot breathe. The applause is loud, but your heart feels quiet. The achievements keep stacking up, but your soul feels untouched. And you wonder, why am I not happy? Why doesn't this feel like I thought it would? Jung would say, because the soul wants depth, not applause. It craves a life that feels lived, not performed. It wants you to be real, not impressive. You cannot trick the soul with trophies or titles. It senses when you're acting. It senses when you're shrinking. It senses when you're abandoning your call. And when it can't reach you through intuition or dreams, It reaches you through emptiness, the most effective alarm system the psyche has. Emptiness is not punishment. It is redirection. It is the soul pulling you back by the sleeve, whispering, "This is not your path. This is not your truth." The soul wants to live, not merely achieve. It wants to feel, not simply function. It wants to create, explore, connect, express, and evolve. And when the outer life becomes a performance rather than a reflection of the inner life, the soul withdraws its energy. The result is numbness, disorientation, and the haunting feeling that something is missing, even when nothing is, and that emptiness you feel. That subtle ache in your chest, that quiet dissatisfaction beneath your accomplishments, is the soul whispering, "You've lived the life the world wanted. Now live the life you were born for." It's not a reprimand, it's an invitation. An invitation to step into your real journey, not the one scripted by culture, family, or fear, but the one written inside you long before you knew the word success. Jung taught that the soul's purpose is not achievement, but individuation, the process of becoming your most authentic self. Everything that feels empty, meaningless, or hollow is the psyche's way of guiding you back toward that path. Success may impress the world, but wholeness frees you. In the moment you choose wholeness over performance, is the moment your life transforms from something you endure into something you truly inhabit. Because the soul doesn't want you to win, it wants you to awaken. If you feel empty after success, if you feel numb, confused, or disconnected, if your achievements sit in your hands like stones instead of blessings, then this message is for you. That strange, hollow feeling, the one you're almost ashamed to admit, does not mean you failed. It does not mean you chose the wrong path or that you are ungrateful. It does not mean something inside you is broken. What you are feeling is something far more important, far more meaningful. It is the soul tapping gently on the door of your life. Know this clearly and deeply. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are being called. You are being invited into a deeper conversation with yourself, one that success alone could never satisfy. That feeling that rises in the quiet after an accomplishment, the strange sense that something still feels unfinished, is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning. Carl Jung believed that the moments in life when we feel most meaningless are actually the moments when the soul is closest. These moments are not signs of collapse. They are signs of transformation. They are the subtle, often uncomfortable ways the inner self rearranges us, redirects us, and begins the long, sacred work of awakening us. We tend to fear this emptiness because it doesn't fit the stories we were taught, that success should make us whole, that achievement should silence all doubts, that reaching the summit should feel like arrival. But the soul does not measure life by achievements. It measures life by authenticity, alignment, and truth. Meaninglessness, Jung wrote, is not the absence of meaning. It is the searchlight pointing you toward your true self. It exposes the places where your outer life has outpaced your inner life. It reveals the dreams you pursued for approval, for identity, structured dreams that may have served you once, but no longer match the deeper rhythms of who you are becoming. The emptiness you feel today is not emptiness at all. It is space. Space being cleared inside you for something real, something enduring, something that belongs uniquely to you. Your soul is not silent. It is speaking through the very feelings you wish you didn't have. It speaks through the quiet discomfort that settles in after the applause. It speaks through the numbness that follows achievement. It speaks through the ache that cannot be explained, the subtle whisper that says, "There must be more than this." This ache is not a flaw. It is a compass. It is pointing you inward, not outward. It is guiding you toward the parts of yourself you have not yet met. This moment in your life is sacred, even if it does not feel that way yet. You are standing at the threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. The world taught you how to succeed, but it did not teach you how to listen inwardly. Now life is inviting you to learn. It is inviting you to rediscover your own depths, to reconnect with the quiet truths beneath your identity, beneath your achievements, beneath all the roles you play. You are being invited to step into the life that is meant for your soul, not just your ambition. So listen to the whisper beneath the emptiness. Listen to the quiet ache that moves like a tide inside your chest. Listen to the message that lingers beneath the noise of the world. It is saying, there is more. Go inward. Your real life is waiting.